Hey guys, Mike B. Rolling here. I had another question on. The guy was asking about, uh, how much more does an owner op make than a company driver, and how much do I make? How what do I consider a never leave the lane that you're on kind of rate per mile? And I noticed the three different times he mentioned, dollars per mile. Uh, I don't. Most owner operators out there don't run by the mile. That's a company driver gig. Owner operators, we focus on dollars per mile. We focus on minimum miles, maximum dollars. Percentage is what I'm trying to say. So I don't always figure my loads out per mile. I figure out uh, the gross rate per mile. I mean, just off the top of your head, you got an idea. Yeah, that's a good paying load for that many miles. Oh yeah, but I very seldom ever factor in to the penny how many miles and how much the load pays and da da. I am a average person. What average? Yeah, I'm special. Uh, no, I average everything out. So I mean, not every load's going to be a good load, but if you do a great load and then you got a crappy little load that repositions you over here to get another good load over here to zip over that, at the end of the week, you average. You don't know how you're doing until the week's done. Then you can say, hey, that was a pretty good week. So it's a load by load basis. Um, Now, when I say a lane, when he's talking about never what kind of money would say, oh, I'd never leave this lane kind of money. Uh, I did pretty good pulling a tanker for 10 years. That was Lima, Ohio to the Peoria area, back and forth, and that was a pretty good lane. And I was doing. I mean, a lot of trucks are doing 5 to 7,000, 7,500 gross. As an owner operator, you're dealing with gross numbers, and then you've got your expenses and whatever. Uh, but there's a lot of guys out there grossing that. Company drivers, their trucks are grossing that, but they themselves are grossing, on the high side, or on the, I'd say, higher than average side. They're grossing 2 grand, 2,200 a week, and then they're getting just massively destroyed with taxes because they're a W-2 employee. That's the one thing you got to factor in. Owner operators, we don't pay the same tax rate as a W-2 employee. It just that you guys are getting absolutely monkey hammered on taxes. A guy I know made 100 and what do you make, 105,000, 110,000 gross last year, but he paid $40,000 in taxes. He paid 40%. 40% of his income went to the government. Hell no. The tax code is written to favor small businesses, business owners. Well, not just small businesses, but all businesses. Uh, Employees are absolutely getting raped in this country. It's an unfair tax system, but it is what it is. We have that's the only system we have. You have to operate in that system. So you can either be a W-2 employee and pay outrageously huge taxes and complain about it and vote for another freaking idiot every 4 years that's not going to do a dang thing to fix it, or start a business, create those write-offs, make the big money, spend that money wisely so that it counts as legal taxable expenses, comes right off the top of your income. By the time he makes $100,000, we'll say he gets 30%. So that truck made 300 grand for him to do $100,000. Just rough numbers. For him to make 100, that truck made 300. Well, as me as an owner operator making 300, I'm not going to pay 40,000 in taxes. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. By the time I'm done paying for my fuel and everything else, I'm still going to net after taxes much, much more than he will after taxes. At the end of the day, when he pays his, your FICA and your government and state and local and all that crap, I pay all the same stuff, but I pay it on you've got gross wages, then you've got adjusted gross wages, then you've got net taxable wages, net income, gross income, uh, uh, adjusted gross income, then you've got net taxable income. You only pay taxes based on your net taxable income. And that net taxable income is a lot less than he made by the time I'm done with all my write-offs. But the actual money that I get to put in the bank and call actual profit, way more than any company driver will do. That's why I'm an owner. That's why I've been an owner operator for 25 years. It's just it's a much freer lifestyle. I own the equipment. I make the decisions in this company. I pay a lot less taxes because if you spend your money wisely, and you even invest your money wisely. You get big tax benefits and incentives for buying certain types of investments. The tax code is just, I mean, you really need to hire a good tax professional. I'm not a tax advisor, and this is not tax advice, but you need to really look into hiring a good accounting firm that understands trucking and investments. That way you can they'll tell you, hey, your income's getting up there. You're going to owe a lot of taxes. You need to start spending some money, fix your truck up, paint your truck, go in and replace all the aluminum and chrome, make everything big and shiny again, spend $5,000 or $6,000. Keeps your income low and keeps your rig in great shape, just all kinds of little tricks like that. And on the same token, they could tell you, hey, you've got, X amount of dollars to invest, and here's a really good avenue you can invest that and get all these tax incentives for, investing in this particular thing. Get a good accounting firm to take care of that. You'll sleep a lot better at night. Plus, if I'm losing my voice here, guys, these allergies are just absolutely killing me. At first I was snotting and snorting, and now my voice is just kind of wavering. But yeah, no, as far hands down, owner operator over company driver, I wouldn't drive. If I couldn't have my own truck, I wouldn't drive anymore. Or I might, I'm not a quitter. So, I mean, I might, if something were to happen that I lost everything and I didn't have the money to buy a truck right out the gate, I might have to go drive for somebody only long enough to save up money to buy my own truck and get back in the saddle again. I would say owner operator over company driver 150%. Think about that number I just mentioned that number for a reason. I'd say I would be an owner operator of a company driver 150 to 220%. So, yeah, but as far as cents per mile, rate per mile, we don't go that way. Like for me hauling steel, we go by the hundredweight, which is the heavier the load. The rate's based on the amount of weight, the amount of steel that's paid for every 100 pounds. It pays a rate, and then of course that depends on how long the run is and whatever. But steel is different than almost anything else. But most other things are going to pay a cent per mile rate. But you're not looking for a load with a bunch of miles. You're looking for a load with a little bit of miles and a bunch of money. That's the difference between being on mileage pay and on percentage pay. I don't care how many miles the load is. I care about what the money is for the miles. If a load's 500 miles and it pays $2,000, whew, man, that's $4 a mile. Yeah, but it just, why do that when you can do a load that goes 250 miles that pays 1,200? That's $6. Think about it. The shorter loads pay better. I don't do them big long loads. I don't run coast to coast. I don't do 500-mile runs. Hell, I rarely ever go over 250 miles on a run. That's why I bang out multiple runs, because they pay better. And when you get the right type of work that you can flip them quick, you can make a heck of a lot more money pulling a series of shorter loads than you can grabbing that big load and heading coast to coast, or, going from, like, say, Chicago down to Atlanta, and Atlanta over to PA back over here. Nah, man, that's way too big. I stay right here around Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Michigan. And I might grab a load out of Indiana going up into Michigan, grab a load coming back down to Indiana, grab one over to Ohio, one back across to northwest Indiana. But it's a much smaller circle, and I just bebop around that. I do much, much better like that. And almost anywhere in the country, you can find, like dedicated, I don't want to say dedicated runs, but like you'll find an area that has, hey, every time I've ever taken a load over to that city, I've always had good, decent paying loads that got me back over here. Start doing that. That'll be your lane, But yeah, just a quick video on cents per mile, and I don't want cents per mile. I want dollars per mile. But yeah. You guys know the deal. Like and subscribe, share the video, and keep them questions coming, man. I sure appreciate it. We'll catch y'all later.